Okay, so might be a little wobbly. I've got this old school camp table I salvaged out of the lake last week, but here we are. We're on lakeside. So our lakeside edit table, and I will try not to be too excited on the keyboard today to make it not that much of a crazy situation. Anyway, so we missed one session that I did some writing. I have taken a day to kind of think about a few things. So I'm going to go back, which you'll see has some ideas about pulling a few things together and then also setting ourselves up for our next couple vital scenes. And again, this is not how I normally work, but when I do it this way, it's really fun. So this is kind of the non-work way that I do write screenplays, and oddly enough, these are the ones that I end up shooting and filming. So anyway, let's get started, and I will tell you where I've been and why and what's going on. So I think I need to go right back to the start because there were some changes that I made. So the biggest change that I made was right in Act 1, first actual introduction to the scene. I had Jeffrey swiping through some social media, a dating site, and I had David on there to begin with, but I've changed that to Peter, which is our waiter. So I've given our waiter a name now because I think it's just so much more interesting to bring him in to this whole thing, because Jeffrey, there's going to be mosquitoes, so I might be grabbing at mosquitoes. So I figure, okay, Jeffrey's like this ultimate schemer, planner, and I think we're gonna go through multiple levels of what he's done and why he's done it, and I think we'll have some fun with that. So he's swiping. We see that this part here where it's this fit, handsome, and French, because we gotta have him be French because we want to have a master chef of doing amazing things who's recently just come to North America. Peter, I put Peter down just in my mind for somebody that I'm playing him after. But anyway, so right in the opening scene, Jeffrey's setting up his sister, Bex, who needs to have, in his mind, a man in her life and to have some fun, right? So anyway, so that's one of the things I've changed since we last chatted. Yada yada yada. Okay, I'm not doing too much through here. Let's see. I did change when she walks in to the warehouse of the shooting. Rachel's character I really want to flesh out a bit more, but I added a description where she's a 20-something and scattered, but in an artistic way, like a Pollock painting. So just everything everywhere, but just, oh, there's another mosquito, I'm gonna get that one. But, so I again, I've played with a few things where she either takes over Becca's job while she's gone, or Becca becomes a mentor for her. I'm not sure which way I'm gonna go just yet. I think that's gonna be one of those things that play out, and it could be both. So she could take over and then end up Bex could become a mentor and find her place. But that's a subplot, not a main plot. So again, it just really depends on screen space, time, all that good fun stuff. Okay, so going into their warehouse, makeshift. I haven't changed anything with Raj yet. A lot of spelling mistakes I can see. And Beck's apartment. So where are we? So we go the yes dress, which I actually, wait. Ooh, love you to the dress Oh, love you. And I got to put yes. Oh, love you, comma, yes, dress. Which will, wow. I kind of had a fun thing about that. Oh, yes. And it puts in, and so instead of a suitcase, I'm going to do it as a, oh, shoot. What was that name of that again? It's like a day bag. Oh, carry-on. I know what a carry-on is, but dang. Okay, anyway, I'll just have to put carry-on. Puts in her, you know, this is my thing. I'm more of a feeler, sound effects person, so I can have the perfect word and then literally 5 minutes later completely forget it. So that is always things that we can add in later and ask my group of friends and cohorts to help me be more articulate. But I do have my incredibly articulate days. Today's not one. Okay, so we did that. Her yes dress closes and zips the carry-on. I'll just do that again just so we're not lost on that subject. Carry-on suitcase, and it escapes to blah, blah, blah. I didn't change any of that. One thing I did, nope, that's all good. Dad and all that good fun stuff. Don't need to change that. Beck's cabin. I do need to change the fact that what the connectivity is. Watch connects them. Jeffrey. Becca, silence. And I think we just go, we have to play on that, like there's not full bars of service. So it's Jeffrey, Becca, and it'll be like, Becca, hello? And it'll be like, Jeffs, can you hear me? Like we all get that stuff where we're doing, can't spell hear properly, you know, or all these meetings nowadays where there's not as good at internet or blah, blah, blah. So hello, Jeffs, can you hear me? Hello? Seems there is a disconnect. Becca checks her service. Becca checks. She's got 1 bar. Let's give her 1 bar. Because this happens all the time where I'm at. Because I don't actually have cell phone. I canceled my cell phone. I ported it over to an internet service called Fongo. You can do messaging, you can do all these wonderful good things. Not that you need to know that, but anybody can call me anywhere. It's never long distance. I don't have to pay long distance. It's a really great thing. So anyway, side plug for Fongo. Becca checks. She's only, great English. She's only got 1 bar of service. Da, 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 da. Jeffrey. Bex, I can hear you, but there's a big lag. Not leg as in leg, but lag as in lag. Like lag. And then she goes, Jeffrey, blah, 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 blah. Yes, you drove all night. Yada, yada, yada. And then, do, all that good fun stuff. And I think we go, your wish is my command. I'll say, Becca, it's just sleep for me. Okay. I can fix that later because now that I've actually set that up, I can go back and play with that. Beck's cabin, we did all that. I love all that stuff with David. That's really funsies. Dad, the lunch. Yeah, okay, Rocky Cliff. Nothing's really gonna change there for now. Again, those are all just, there's a lot of touches. We call, you know, when we're on shows, actors and everybody spends all this time in the hair, makeup, wardrobe, and costumes, trailers, what we call circus hours. I'm kind of joking, but sometimes not. And then they come to set, and even though no matter how much time they've had in those trailers, they still come to set. We put them in front of the camera, and there's final touches. So, oh my goodness, it's just great. Like, so I look at it the same way. Like, no matter how much time I spend on a screenplay, on a story, we're still going to get to the end. There's always going to be touches right until up to the time that we shoot. We're always going to be making adjustments. So, you know, again, don't get lost in making it perfect. Just get a story out there and just know you're always going to have time to make final touches. And then even at the 9th hour, you're still going to be making some tweaks. But, you know, how far in the ballpark are we for the story? Are we 80% in there for the story, performance, and all that good fun stuff? So another story, another day. But, so anyway, kiddo, yada, yada, yada. Just called, okay. Yeah, Rocky Cliff, we discovered that it's full bars on the Rocky Cliff. That's why they always go there for conversations. The lounge, I changed this around a lot of spelling mistakes because I did it quickly. That Dad's already been in there. Jeff has actually recommended this guy. It ends up being Peter coming in for the Master Chef thing. I made some fancy things like whipped Rocky Mountain free range bison with wild cranberry frappe on a fresh baked artisan French focaccia. That's kind of fun. But anyway, okay, and I'm good with that. There's something I was going to do there, but I can't remember. Okay, and so Storm at night, she's got her yes dress, which is what oh, there's no mosquito. Get it? Oh, how do you catch them and they still live? I don't get that. So yeah, she's got her yes dress on because it's one of the only things she packed. They'd meet her dad, but it's David, and that's all kind of fun. I did change it so that when she wakes up, Peter does not give her a kiss. She's just wrapped in a blanket, like Dave's put her to sleep, and she doesn't remember even playing backgammon with Peter, which she did. You know, no real drinking. I love this part where I made it the home-baked macaroni cheese, not something crazy like what Peter would do, but, you know, Dad and David, and they're just kind of good salt-of-the-earth guys. So, yeah. And then just, you know, Peter's new. He's trying to figure out what's going on, and talks her into showing her a day hike, and that's when David overhears and is uncertain really about what's going on there. So yeah, so we've got a couple good segues. I left it here going exterior forest day, like the Widowmaker, so we're bringing in that nickname that David has, and we're gonna find out the spoiler. I guess you can't really be much of a spoiler when you're writing a script, but David a year ago was part of the search and rescue for Becca's mother. She was out with some clients on a lake on the paddleboards, and a storm set in, as they do in these areas. A lot of regions in the Rocky Mountains, they'll come out of the blue, especially high winds. And so she went out to save a client, or just stayed out on the water to save a client. Everybody else made it back. And then with the storm, they didn't make it back to shore. So David, being part of the search and rescue, and as well as the dad, but it was really David that was able to find David's fiance as well as Becca's mother, and got them to shore. But they were already pretty much, I don't know if that's going to work for Hallmark. I might have to change that. But basically it was David that found them, tried to resuscitate them, brought them back to shore. And so therefore they were not able to be recovered at that point. And that's how he kind of got this secret name called the Widowmaker. So again, I'm not sure if that's super appropriate for Hallmark. I'll have to suss that out or just make it a bit lighter. But, and that's where Becca knows and recognizes David, but she doesn't quite coin it in, because that was a pretty quick and crazy point of her life. So, yeah. That's that. And where I wanted to go from here is, that's where I have Becca and Peter, French Peter, the new Peter. He's kind of the one that does what Becca doesn't do. Becca's a little bit more internal, but Peter's like gets to know all the goods on everybody, everything, everywhere. So he's, even though he's only been there like a half a day, he's already chatted with everybody that's part of the lodge, service people, whatever. He's already getting the goods on everything, not on purpose, but he just is a social kind of guy. So he already ends up knowing the dibs that David is called the Widowmaker, though you're not supposed to ask why. So that we'll be saving that conversation for later for Becca and David to have, and also why David is working at the lodge. And yeah, so that's that. So yes, they're out in the forest. It's a day. I'm not I think I already corrected what I wanted to shoot back here. Anyway, if I didn't, I'll remember it. Yeah, so they're out in the forest. It's day. And so it's Peter and Becca. Ouch. Mosquitoes. What do I really want to do with this right now? I really am trying to build this linearly. I had some ideas. It's getting close to dinner time as well. Let me think. Oh yeah, and then I also have to introduce, on this hike that she's doing with Peter, this Widowmaker nickname for David. And then also, now this is Sunday, so she left her work on Friday afternoon, and so when she gets up to the cliff where they can get cellular connection, she's already seen that there's messages from work, but she's gonna be seeing more messages, an emergency message, and she's gonna choose not to reply to it on Sunday, but she will do that on Monday morning. So maybe this woman gets 2 days off of work. But yeah, it's starting to rain a little. I think that's it for this one, because I had to catch you guys up, and I'm hungry. I've got to make dinner. So let's check back in on the next one, okay? We'll do some writing, hopefully 3 pages, and potentially 6 pages in a day tomorrow. Sounds good. All right. Thanks for chiming in. Oh, and I went swimming today. It was amazing. It's only 20 degrees Celsius, but so nice in the water. And I'm burning a lot of driftwood, which I'm not really supposed to do, but there's no fire ban yet, and there's just some terrible, ugly pieces, so I burn those. And the rest of the ones I keep, and I hide them, because my dad likes to burn everything. No, he doesn't. He just will put it back out in the lake, and we'll never see it again. But man, there's just some really cool stuff out here. Anyway, thanks for chiming in. And this is me from the Kootenay Lake on the northern tip in a little town called Lardo.